A dad is facing charges after his two toddlers were found alone in a car along I-65. News Channel 5's Cuthbert Langley working this one from the CJC with the very latest. And are police able to pinpoint why these kids were left in the car all alone?
Steve, that still is kind of a big question this morning. We pulled these affidavits just a short time ago from here at the Metro Jail. It's shedding a little bit more light. The man told police supposedly he wanted to leave the kids in the car while he went to go get gas because they were sleeping, so he didn't want to wake them up. But according to police, around 11:45 last night, several drivers started calling 911 after seeing this father, who's been identified as Frank Rouse, basically walking in the interstate there, waving his hands, asking for help. So when officers got to the scene there, they found the two children in the back of the car completely alone. This father was supposedly walking up the off-ramp to go get gas for the car because it had run out. And when police started speaking with this man, they noticed he smelled like alcohol. So they asked him about that, and he admitted to having a couple of drinks during the night. So not only has this father been arrested for leaving his two children alone in that car on the side of that busy interstate, he's also been charged for his second DUI. He got one back in 2010. When he asked, police were asking him a little bit more if he had a cell phone in the car. It turns out he did have a phone that had more than half of its battery life left. So officers were saying, well, you could have just called 911 for help. Thankfully, though, officers were able to use that phone to get the mother out there to the scene who took the kids home. So the children are fine this morning. They were sleeping through this entire incident. But the father is facing a lot of charges, as you can see here. His bond has been set at more than $35,000 and also includes a charge from back in July when he's accused of stealing his mother's television and pawning that to make some money as well. So no doubt a lot of trouble for him this morning. We'll have more updates coming up at 7:30, but for now we're live here at the Metro Jail. I'm Cuthbert Langley, News Channel 5 HD.
Thank you, Cuthbert. And new this morning, a woman finds a stranger inside her car who forces her to drive at gunpoint. Now, according to the Kentucky New Era, the victim was at the Bank of Cadiz on Fort Campbell Boulevard when the man slipped into her car, put a gun to her head, and told her to drive. This was in Hopkinsville. Police say he eventually told her to stop at Princeton Road and Eagle Way, where he stole her money and took off. If you have any information, call 270-890-1300.
A babysitter is facing charges after she was apparently caught on camera abusing a toddler. Investigators say that a home security camera recorded Brianna Campbell throwing the 13-month-old boy on the couch and then smothering him with pillows before hitting him several times. Can you imagine? Fortunately, however, the boy's injuries were not very serious. Campbell is now charged with attempted aggravated child abuse and child neglect. Well, the man accused of dragging his dog behind his pickup truck back in July is now facing charges. Abdel Mahmoud, now charged with animal cruelty. Mahmoud told officers the dog was tied up in the back of the truck, but jumped out, and then that's why it was dragged. It was a puppy at the time named Forrest. It was seriously hurt. Police say Mahmoud never sought medical treatment like he should have. Forrest and another dog are now in the care of the Big Fluffy Dog Rescue Agency in Nashville.
A bizarre story out of Gallatin where a man had his wallet stolen while he was mowing his lawn. Officers say this man used a stolen debit card at the MGM Market on South Water Avenue. Investigators say he stole it from a man who was cutting grass on Kenny Street and left his wallet in his unlocked car. So if you recognize the guy in these pictures, call Gallatin Police.
Well, the battle over guns in public parks is heating up again. The law that was passed back in April in cities and counties, well, you can no longer ban weapons in public parks. But yesterday, two Democratic lawmakers proposed an amendment to that, which would exclude ticketed events. That would include sports games and concerts like the ones at the new Ascend Amphitheater. The amendment sponsors say it's just common sense for places where kids or alcohol is present.
Even law-abiding gun permit holders can use these irresponsibly or accidentally discharge them in a public space.
Lawmakers will take up the issue again when they return to Capitol Hill in January.
The Kentucky County Clerk who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples could be heading to jail. Yesterday, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled against Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis 4 couples sued Davis after she refused to issue marriage licenses to gay couples, claiming her Christian faith should exempt her. Under the federal order, Davis must begin issuing marriage licenses when her office opens this morning in about an hour or so. If she doesn't, Davis will likely be held in contempt of court, which means steep fines, even jail time.
A state lawmaker, Amy, wants more legislative oversight of Tennessee's prison system. Nashville Democratic Rep Mike Stewart says the department's choice to conduct an independent audit will not uncover the real issues.
The people of Tennessee, when they look at the details, have every reason to suspect that this is not really intended to be an independent audit, but is really intended to just be business as usual with a different name.
The Department of Corrections picked the American Correctional Association for the audit. Stewart says, that is not a good choice because it's the same group that accredits the prisons that they're putting under the microscope. Stewart's also calling for the legislature to reinstate a committee that oversees the prison system. The idea already picking up some bipartisan support.